I'm excited about tonight. We're going to talk about the 7 most important real ideas to move your business forward the rest of this coming year, the rest of 2016. I want to thank you guys, all of you that invited your uplines to be on last week's webinar. I had some really, really great comments, and I sincerely appreciate that. I had one gentleman that sent me an email and said he had my VHS confessions and pulled it off of his library shelf and stayed up all night watching it and looking at the crowd this time, looking for the cat. And just a very, very good email. And this guy's he said he spent the whole weekend going through some of our recorded webinars at MLMhelp.com. So that was all really good. And then I had somebody that sent me an email and said, "You offended my sponsor." And I said, "How did I offend them?" And I said, "Ask them how I offended them." And long story short, in my opinion, this person had been with them 18 months. They were sponsored 18 months ago. They heard from their sponsor one time in 18 months. They deserved to be offended. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys who shared it. Anybody that wants to go back and watch it, there's the link right there. I sincerely believe that there's more long-term, and nobody wants anything to do with anything long-term now. That's what got Wall Street in so much trouble. You know, we're worrying about the next 90 days and our bonus if we create X number of profits on paper. But I believe that there's more long-term upside potential for network marketing leaders that embrace the leadership development philosophy right now more than at any time in the last 80 plus years history of this business model. And I really believe that. Some of you know that we wrote out a couple months ago the Network Marketing Leadership Development Academy. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but I believe that, or I would have never launched that particular program. I would estimate that over the past 10 months, I have probably communicated on the phone, email, one-on-one with a more diverse group of network marketing newbies, pros, company owners, corporate staff, probably than anybody in the last 10 months. And really tonight's 7 principles, ideas, philosophies that I want to share are not that related that much. I mean, there's a couple of oddball ideas thrown in here, but it's based upon those conversations. And just a lot of you know have filled out surveys in different websites over the last 2, 3, 4 months. And I look at all that data just to try to get a pulse on the movement, or lack thereof in some cases, and the mindsets and the philosophies that are being shared all around the world with many, many different companies. Most of you know at age 20, I got addicted to personal development. Listening to people that had a track record of success that really had what I wanted. And I think one of the biggest problems the challenges, misconceptions, mistakes that people make is they spend a lot of time, energy, and effort listening to people that they shouldn't be listening to. And I think instinctively at age 20, I knew that for me to make it, it was something I had to do. And, you know, at that time, more than even today, everybody was taught, go to school, get a good education, go to work for a good company. and everybody was on the 40-40-40 plan where you work 40 years to get to $40,000 a year so you can retire with a $40 gold watch. And a lot of my friends, went on to university, went to college. Some did, some didn't. But the ones that did all knew from the time they were in grade school why they were going. I mean, I have a friend that's a doctor, and he knew he was going to be a doctor since the time I knew him. I have another friend that was a pharmacist. He knew he was going to be a pharmacist since I knew him. His dad was a pharmacist. I had a couple other really close friends that went to college because that's what they were supposed to do. They had no clue why they were going, and they both dropped out. So my aha moment, I think the first conscious paradigm shift I can ever remember having, was when I got plugged into this world. I used to like to go to all the infomercial pitches. I mean, I would drive an hour just to go sit and listen to an infomercial pitch, because I like to watch the whole thing, how it unfolded, the whole process behind it. And then, you know, I never will forget when I walked into a bookstore for the first time and I saw there was actually a personal development section of the bookstore. And I had heard people talk about psycho-cybernetics and the magic of thinking big and Think and Grow Rich and a lot of the classics, but I'd never read one. And then as I got into that world, I started to realize all successful, self-made, that's a key term, self-made people basically think the same way. And you know what? That's the way it's always been. That's the way it always will be. And the cool thing is we can condition our mind, we can program our mind to think however we want it to think. So I just needed to say that tonight as we get going. Many of you, we got some more new people tonight. We have new people every week. I want to welcome you guys. Those who are here with us every Thursday night, I appreciate you more than I can communicate. If this is your first time, my name is Dale Calvert. I got involved in the network marketing industry when I was 20 years old. I promise you tonight's going to be a little bit different than any webinar, generic webinar you've ever attended. I promise you that. So just, relax. There's no big pitch. I don't have a company to try to back you into or anything like that. When I was 20 years old, I got involved in the network marketing industry. This is a picture of my house I lived in, a little 600 square foot home, and I was driving a beat up Chevette. I worked the business consistently my first 5 years. My first 3 years, I was frustrated beyond measure. My sponsor had so much confidence in me that he quit 2 weeks after I joined. Finally, after 5 years, I was able to leave my job at IBM in Lexington, Kentucky, and I've never had a 1099 from a company since. My 9th year, took me 9 years to get to $92,000 a year. My 10th year, it jumped to $252,000. Well, say, Dale, if it took you 9 years, why should we be listening to you? Here's why. Here's why I can help. I'm an average guy with above average desire, like most of your downline, most of your team members. If you look at your organization, the people that have been there more than 90 days, most people don't make it 90 days because 70% of the population quits before they get started. That's what quitters do. You see it, it's a revolving door. But from 92 to 252,000 to 1.1 million my 11th year. Today, if you look at the statistics of the last 15 years, there's more people that have got to a six-figure income and today are no longer involved in the network marketing business model than there are that are in the business model and progressing and moving forward. I don't know why that's not more alarming to most people. And I think the reason it's not is because most people say, oh yeah, Dale, but that'll never happen to me. That's not going to happen with my company, my product, my team, blah, blah, blah. And I promise you, everybody that's ever got to six figures thought the exact same thing. Sometimes it's good to look down the road and look at people that have come down the road and help other people come down this road, instead of assuming that your situation is unique, because as human beings, we're all pretty predictable. I can't tell you what one individual will do, but I can tell you what 99 out of 100 will do. So when we went from 290 to 252, 1.3, 3.3, 3.8 million, it happened exactly the way I felt like it should happen, exactly the way that I think it should happen for everybody that ever gets to that point. Because it's not about you, it's about a team of people coming down the road right behind you that are learning, growing, progressing daily, weekly, monthly. That's the game. And it's not about you, it's about what can people on your team do. And again, I'm preaching to the choir, as I always do. This is just kind of my soapbox, and I can't help it because I just see we're surrounded with it. So the only reason that I have the opportunity to speak with people tonight from all over the world who actually give a flip about what I'm saying, in my opinion, is because when I got involved in the industry, this little invention was created that changed my life. It gave me the out. I had a job that allowed me to listen to 8 hours of audios a day, every day, over 7,500 hours of good stuff my first 3 years. And I think what I learned more than anything during that time was what kind of business I didn't want. I didn't want to be the Elvis. I didn't want to have to do all the three-way calls. I didn't want to have to do everything for everybody. I didn't want to have to call people and motivate them. I saw people that just got totally frustrated and burned out by the time they hit wherever they were trying to go, because they didn't develop any independent people that could do their own, that could run their own. I use the term a lot of times, McDonald's. It's not about your McDonald's. It's about how many can you develop. And more importantly, how many can they develop and how many can they develop? It's not important to me, honestly, at this point in my life. It is not important to me that Dale Calvert, that me personally, get this message in the marketplace. It's just important that it gets done. Somebody sent me that quote this week. They said it's from a vegetable hydroponics dude. I thought, he said, Dale, this sounds like you because I know you. And it's true. After 15 years of watching the business model go deeper and deeper in bog, July last year, I had for lack of a better term, come to Jesus meeting, where it's like, you know what? I cannot find one person that's teaching the full systematic team building methods that I know is necessary for developing duplicating teams. Not one. And I have people all over the country, all over the world that, Dale, we use your streak when you're slumped distributor retention system. More people use the retail to recruit customer acquisition system in multiple companies. And people use the two-step recruiting process, and people use pieces. But it's like in my mind, when I sit back and look at it, it's like, okay, why don't you sell? Tell me again why you don't sell the cheeseburgers at your McDonald's. It's like they leave out a part of it, and everything's sequential, and everything builds upon each other, and everything works together. So I just felt like I had to start doing the webinars, and I'm glad I did. We started doing 3 podcasts because I just felt like it had to be done. And regardless of what anybody tells you, regardless. And I know there's a lot of gurus. They went, oh, everything's hunky-dory. This is awesome. That's awesome. But the numbers are the numbers. And the truth is, this business model is in a state of the word I can't say. I think it's dissipation. You could say decline, I guess, but that's not what Jensen Franklin, the pastor that originally talked about this concept that he didn't use that word, so I'm not going to use that word. So in my opinion, everybody listening tonight, especially me, I had to make the decision. I said, you know what, Dale, you can sit back for the next 15 years and watch all this just, the fog continue to roll in. But if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So this is my attempt to be part of the solution, and I hope other people, and I know many of you, want to be part of the solution. You want to be part of the future. And some of you, I'm going to refer to this a lot tonight, the 4 stages of a movement. I'm not going to get into detail. You can get the whole story, dalecalvert.com/critical. And it's a critical message that if you're a career-minded network marketer, you really, really should listen to. Right now, tonight, where are we, June 15th, 16th? My goal, which is subject to change, but it might go tonight, is in 5 years, I can feel like emotionally I've done my part. That's where I want to get to, because I want to be able to look back and see hundreds of leaders and dozens of companies that can walk into a room and say, how many of you have your reason sheet with you? And see 1,000 people on their team reach in their wallet, reach in their billfold, pull out their reasons. Because see, I know that until you know why, the how doesn't matter. I know that. And I also know that 99% of the people involved in this industry have heard 1,015 times why they need to set goals, but they've never been given the assignment and the follow-up to make darn sure it gets done. And that's the kind of direction it takes to build duplicating teams. So a lot of you know that my main focus as far as the network marketing business model is the MLM Training Club. If you're not a member of that, you should be, because in the future, everything's going to go through that process, through that foundational process. The Leadership Development Academy, we took a limited number of members. We had 3 times more applications than we accepted, and I do not honestly know tonight how I'm going to move that forward, because I know I can't do it the way I'm doing it right now, but I am going to move it forward. I'm just not clear of the path, because again, this is something that's really never been done before. And see, this is one of our Academy members, and this is a very nice gesture that she shared. My life changed when I met Dale Calvert. I learned how to become a leader, how to build a successful business, how to generate leads, how to build a team, and what to do to produce results. My goal is that everybody that I have the opportunity to work with, training club members, that in a year, 2 years, 3 years, everybody on your team is saying that about you. This really has nothing to do with me. I have no Elvis in me. I don't. I don't need that. I just don't. And if you do, you'll probably never get there or maintain it. I'm just looking for good, honest, hardworking people that just, they want to build their dream instead of somebody else's, and they understand that the residual income model that this profession offers is nothing can compare to it on the planet. And they get that, but they also know that it cannot be done by creating followers. It has to be done by creating leaders. This week on Shark Tank, this is one of our favorite shows, and a lot of times Donald and I will work on the couch on our laptops, and we got Shark Tank going. And Robert Herjavec this week said, and I just thought this was awesome, he said most people never have the chance to meet someone who's done what they are trying to do and willing to give them real, unbiased advice. And of course, he's talking about traditional business, but that statement really resonated with me because you have a lot of people in the market proclaiming to be offering unbiased advice, and their main method, their main motivation is to hope that they can back you in their program at some time in the future, or to sell you an affiliate product where they can make $100 commission. And it's everywhere you look. We're everywhere. It's out there. And again, I just want to stress, guys, I'm not building a team. I have other business interests. Don and I like to work together. For us, in our life right now, the most important time we can spend is with family. That's it. That means more than anything to both of us. So I'm just come from a different place. Here's what my immediate thought was after I heard Robert. Because at the top of every network marketing company, you find 3%ers. The only way to duplicate is to find other 3%ers. And what that basically means is people that have got there on their God-given talent, skills, ability, drive, work ethic, whatever they entered the industry with. They take those sets of skills and attitudes and everything else, credibility, and they're able to forge, grind to the top. And the only way that can ever be duplicatable is if they find people that have the same type of skill, drive, determination, work ethic, or whatever. That's the only way that, when you do it with what you enter it with, the only way it can ever be duplicated is if you find other people that have a unique skill set or a unique credibility factor or unique marketing message that can go out and do it by themselves, basically, with their own, what they enter with. And my focus has been to put together duplicatable systems that gave the majority of people who stay involved in the network marketing profession over 90 days, okay? 70% of the people are going to die broke regardless. I'm not going to change it. You're not going to change it. Neither is your opportunity. That's the way it is. To try to fight that is ignorant. You can't fight that which you can't fight something you can't control. That's the way it is. They have a victim mentality. They're dependent upon somebody else other than themselves. It's always somebody else's fault. It's the boss, it's their ex-wives, it's their fourth ex-wife, it's their parents, it's somebody. It's never the person staring them back in the mirror. My focus from the beginning, after listening to all these audios and digesting everything that was going on behind the curtain, my thought was, if you can't duplicate with average people with above average desire and reasons, then this is not a real business, because it is based upon duplication. And so my focus has been focus on that, Dale. The opportunity to build duplicating teams in a real business. And in the process, over the last 15 months, I've been trying to do what I tried to do at the end of the 90s when I came out with the Masses booklet and Network Marketing is a Scam audio. And I'm trying to wake up the talented 3%ers, because I know that they can be 10 times better than they are and have an organization 10 times bigger than it is. I don't care if they're already making $1 million a year. That's not the issue. That's not. It's not about what you're doing. It's about what you're doing based upon what you could be doing, based upon the talent, skills, abilities that you have. So here's the 7 things. Number 1, this is and I thought about this after I finished this presentation. So I'm gonna give you 2 number 1s, and I didn't even mention this other idea. So this will be a bonus. We'll have 1 and 1A. 1A is you cannot escape the grind. You cannot escape the work. You cannot escape the exposure. You cannot escape it. You know, I remember years ago when there was a lot of front-end load programs, and people would put a lot of money up front into programs thinking that they could build it with cash. You couldn't. You can't. You can't shortcut the grind. You can't. So that's 1A. Number one, without question, is ego and greed bring down great companies and leaders in the business world. I'm not talking about this particular business model, but in general. It is the single largest reason the network marketing business model is not dominating the entrepreneurial revolution happening around the world right now. It's the single biggest reason. Confidence is a great asset. Ego is destructive. Confidence, hear this, confidence without proven systems in network marketing. So you're involved in network marketing, you got to have a lot of confidence, but you have no proven systems, leads to all kinds of psychological guilt and issues if you sincerely care about people. I promise you, I've seen it. I think the most miserable people in the world are the people that get to a full-time income and have no earthly idea how to help people that they care about do what they did. I really do. The biggest challenge in network marketing is helping people see their upside potential and improve their self-image. See, most of the people, it's not confidence that they have a problem with when they join, it's lack thereof. So we have to help them improve their self-image. When confidence crosses the line, it becomes ego. There's a lot of people that have a lot of ego sitting at the top of a lot of companies. They have a real sense of entitlement. They owe me. They do not have the ability to learn from other people because they feel that's a sign of weakness. There's a lot of complacency. There's extreme paranoia. They start overreaching. They start buying their own BS, and they think that, well, I made it here, so let me go start a gas station, or let me go do this, and they make bad decisions. They lose sense of reality. They can't learn from their mistakes. Instead of learning, live, learn, and move forward, they blame. Ego is always a bad ingredient in business and in life. Now, I'm reading a book, and I'm going to talk more about this. Some of you know I talk about ego in passing, but it's fascinating. It's really, really fascinating subject to me. And I read something this week that just was a paradigm for me. And this, I'm trying to remember, this was like a general in the Air Force who was very influential in World War II. I can't remember the guy's name right now. I apologize. But in his speech that he gave the new cadets, this was part of what he said, and I'm obviously ad-libbing. But he said, you're going to come to a fork in the road. This is going to ask you to be or to do. Stay with me, guys. To be or to do. To play the game or do real things. I believe that in every network marketing leader's run, they get to a point, and I'm talking about the last 15 years, guys. They get to a point where they realize what got me here is not going to get my team here. And I believe at that point it's their responsibility to figure it out. And most don't. Most just kind of talk to more people their way through the deal. And again, 5-10 years of that, they get into a real bad place psychologically if they care about other people. If they're just in it for the money, it doesn't affect them. Same mentality you see on American Greed, if you've never seen that TV show. This is what blew my mind. Is there a difference between a brown noser? Now keep in mind, this book is not written for network marketers. It's corporate America stuff, okay? So keep that in mind, because again, human nature is human nature. Is there a difference between a brown noser who networks their way up and someone that puts in the work, that contributes a lot, accomplishes a lot, and does real things and holds themselves to a set of principles? Many of you that have been on these webinars, you've heard me talk about some of the most popular top trainers in the network marketing industry. All they ever did was climb in the back pocket of somebody else. It's pretty common knowledge if you've been around very long. They just climbed in their back pocket and they brown-nosed it. That's what they did. And a lot of you know exactly who they are. And so does everybody else. Now, newbies don't know, but they always figure it out eventually. I don't like, I don't think brown nosing, and again, I get it. I understand this networking and it's not what you know, it's who you know, and I get all that. Some of the best gigs that I've ever had in my career have become through relationships that we've developed with people over the years, but I'm not a very good networker. I'm not. I understand the concept, and I understand a lot of people are, but I think it ultimately leads to a whole set of other issues down the road. When you look in the mirror, you know if you put in the work, if you contributed a lot, if you accomplished a lot, if you did real things and hold yourself accountable to a set of principles. And I talk about there's company and people I will not work with, and that's I don't care. It has nothing to do with the money. Now if that's what's driving you, then if there's people that try to make people offers that they cannot refuse. It happens everywhere. It happens all over this industry. And there's a lot of backroom bridge money deals that we've talked about that most people don't even understand what's really going on, or why did that leader jump? Okay, what's really behind it? What's really behind the curtain? This is my new friend, one of my new favorite friends. He's made over $5 million in the network marketing industry. He's in Norway, Osborne, and he is part of the Network Marketing Leadership Development Academy. And so we talk monthly on the phone. That's part of that program. And we talked, I guess, last week, and he said, Dale, you did something for me that nobody's ever done. And I said, well, I appreciate that. What is it? He said, you helped me to understand that it's okay to ask for help. I have realized over the last several years, but this is something I've really been thinking about a lot, is there's a segment of the if you listen to a lot of people, a lot of leaders in any business, and especially in network marketing, a lot of them went through some kind of childhood trauma, major obstacles. I think about Art Williams. His dad passed away. They didn't have term insurance, and that was the foundation, the trauma, seeing what his mom went through, that really created the whole buy term and invest the rest A.L. Williams movement of, of the past. So I think what happens is people develop this real strong, intense emotion that if it is to be, it's up to me, and I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to grind it out. And that feeling, why valuable, why important, the willingness to put in the time and do the grind, important. But I also think it prevents people from expanding outside of that and seeing things a little bit bigger, and especially in network marketing, understanding the issue is not about you. So when he said that to me last week, I mean, it really made an impact on me. It's like, this guy is phenomenal, a great human being, cares and loves his people, has built a huge organization. But the first time I ever talked to him, he said, Dale, my problem is I have been an Elvis, because he's very successful, real estate investor, very successful. But here's somebody that understood it's not about me. And that is, I think it's such a hard place for many good people to get to. And, if I'm talking to you tonight and you're relating with that, please don't let this go in one ear and out the other. This is worth some time and thought. Ego, our form of ego, self-reliance, all that kind of meshes together, and it's not a good thing as it relates when you're trying to build duplicating teams. Number two, I've learned this week, or this month, or the last 10 months. Creativity is a killer of duplication. If this is a network marketing, if network marketing is based upon duplication, which we all know it is, your income is in direct proportion to how well you're able to duplicate and how large of a team you can grow. And Catherine, who I've never met, left this comment on actually on the 7lies.com website, 7-lies.com. She said, you helped me see what some of my resistance to spending the necessary time in my business has been. I have a very strong, innovative drive, creative, innovative. If I can channel that into other areas of my life, ding, 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 ding. Man, how insightful is that statement? And treat MLM like something I know how to do and just do it instead of constantly trying to find new ways to do it better. Maybe I'll have a breakthrough. Duplication, not innovation. Brilliant, just what I needed. See, I don't psychologically understand not understanding that, okay? And again, it's not that I'm right or she's right or somebody else is right. It's just we all come from wherever we come from. And there's things that, creativity, as I said, creativity is an awesome gift in most businesses, but if you're not grounded systematically, it's a network marketing killer. And it keeps really a lot of talented people very confused. And see, as I say this, I'm hoping that you're thinking of somebody on your team right now that is an awesome person, likable, got great talent, but they just cannot take this creativity and apply it to every aspect of their life. They can apply it to their garden. They can apply it to their home. They can apply it to their grandchildren or their children's birthday parties. There's all kinds of outlets for that. This business model is not one of them. And then David here said, attraction marketing appears to be very attractive because it makes you appear as the expert or leader, appear in the know. But if you haven't done what your attraction is all about, you end up looking like the poser that you are. Here's my belief. Attraction marketing appears attractive to newbies that don't really know any better, and people that are very shallow people. That's my belief. I mean, if you've been pitching attraction marketing and go on YouTube and telling your team to, you know, before we can start, you have to have 1,500 Facebook fans and all the other stuff that people are being told, and you got to go on YouTube and you follow this script and you call yourself an attraction marketing consultant, and again, you know, YouTube's littered with that stuff. And if you've been in the industry 5-10 years and you're still promoting those kind of methods, questionable is where I would start. It makes no sense on any level. Number 3, Gordon sent me this, and it really helped me kind of name it and understand it, and I really never thought about it from this perspective. Micromanaging your team is required. Now, I can promise you that the last thing leaders want is to be micromanaged, and that emotionally that doesn't set well. It's like, again, some people just cannot handle being told what to do. So he kind of helped me expand on this and get a better picture. He said, Dale, people don't like being micromanaged. That's why they become entrepreneurs. Well, that makes sense to me. He said, your Masses book helped me see that micromanaging is required. Now, I never used the word micromanaging in that book, but I understand what he's saying. Micromanaging is required to build duplicating teams. I consider micromanaging as directional leadership, but I get it. I agree. I bought your booklet in the late 90s, but didn't read it until 4 months ago. When the student's ready, the teacher will arrive. Your webinar helped me get comfortable with this, and this was after a webinar we did. He said, our team now tells all people when they join, we're following a training system from a guy that developed more 5- and 6-figure income earners than any generic teacher in the world. Do you want to plug into our training system, or do you want to do it on your own? And some of you were on that webinar when I said, look, if you're part of the training club or whatever, you have the right to ask that question, and then if they say, no, I want to follow it, then you have the invitation and the obligation to then provide direction. Step 1, we need your reasons, 50 names to practice with. Okay, he says we then give them their 20 reasons and 50 names to practice with sheet and have them join the MLM training club. So I love this guy. But he went on and said, I bought the Leadership in the 1 Minute Manager, read it but didn't get it until I read it again last month. I now have the courage to tell people what they need to hear and give them a track to run on and monitor. This is key, guys. Monitor their weekly activities. We've talked a lot about that the last 2 or 3 weeks. I can't thank you enough. You are right. This is exactly what my team needed. If I had just taken the time to read the booklet years ago, I know your insights could have prevented me from rebuilding my team 4 times. I am now officially Calverted. So micromanaging is perceived to be negative. It's good. It's called directional leadership. That's point 3. Again, if you've never read this book, when you're ready for it, it will speak to you. If you're not ready for it, it won't. A lot of you have heard me talk about the concept. Direct people, coach people, support people. Ultimately, you have to get them to a point of delegation where they can run their own McDonald's. You can hand them the keys. Step 4, it's not about you. This is Monica in New Mexico. All my life I persisted, worked hard, and had financial success. It's taken me 4 years of network marketing and discovering your No Fluff podcast to understand it's not about me. I have friends at the top of every company, and those of us that really care are constantly trying to figure out how to help them make money. It's no fun watching the 27% struggle. I totally understand what you're teaching, but personally there's a disconnect. There always is. There's always a disconnect with 3%ers because they don't get it, because they didn't need it. That's why they don't. And it's not that they're stupid. They're smart. They're extremely intelligent. They're the cream of the crop. But there is a disconnect because I was able to progress with my natural talents. That's right. That's exactly right. You and most of the people. How can a 3%er like myself really understand how to develop the right systems for my team members? This is all you have to master. These are it. This is it. It's all at DaleCalvert.com/core. You have to help them launch it. They need to launch it in their own community and with people they know. And I explained exactly why at MLMHelp.com/sponsor more. It always starts with understanding why they're doing it until they know why. The how doesn't matter. You have to put together a customer acquisition with a referral system. If they buy once, they're a suspect. If they buy twice, they're a prospect. If they buy 3 times, they're a customer. Some of the best people that you will ever have on your team are going to be satisfied customers first. They have to master a 2-step recruiting process. The real purpose is to create enough curiosity until people can hear the entire story. After they hear the entire story, there's only one question that you ask, and that is, what questions do I need to answer for you before we get you started? And it's a really good idea if you can implement a distributor retention program that triggers automatically once this happens. Missing 2 of your corporate overviews or whatever. And then once you have this foundation in place, it just comes down to driving as many leads through your system on a daily, weekly, monthly basis as you possibly can, and you'll never run out of ways to create leads. That's the easy part. The challenge is a lot of people are buying leads and trying to create leads, and they have no foundation in place if they create the lead. That's a major issue. Major. Every company, widespread. It's astounding to me how widespread. Your long-term income with the network marketing business model is in direct proportion to the number of leaders you develop on your team. Teams are developed with people. People need systems if you expect them to teach other people. I've never said that before. I've got close to it, but I've never said that. People need systems if you expect them to teach other people. Because this business, again, as you guys know. So Dale, to answer Monica's question, I would just go through this till I'm just sick of it. This particular podcast, the No Fluff one. DaleCalvert.com/No Fluff podcast. It's okay, and put this list up and look at it every day and do it. Do this. Don't worry about anything else till this is done. If you're a talented leader, this is what you do. This is it. This can be taught. This can be taught. It can be duplicated. Accept the concept of just-in-time learning. This is for a lot of you that are with me tonight. A lot of you. And I get it. You know, my first 3 years, I was just trying, what is, you know, I'm listening to all that. I'm just trying to figure all this out. How does this work? How can I do this? I'm just, you know, I'm in that just like a lot of you. I mean, I talk to so many people, and it's like I flash back. It's like I remember when I was there. Man, I remember how that felt. I wanted to get out of IBM so bad. How can I make this happen as soon as possible? How can I move forward? I don't want to, how can I make this happen? And learners, people that are willing to learn and take direction, want to learn it as soon as possible, apply it, and get results. And here's what I want to say to you, because a lot of you listen to me. That's my market, honestly, are you people. People that are not looking for the foo-foo dust, that, understand there's very few professions in the world where you can create $250,000 a year income without education first. And they understand formal education makes you a living. If you become self-educated, you can create a fortune. And to you, I want to communicate to you, if you stay on this path, and again, I can't even ever show this enough right here. This is it. Okay, this is it. These are the 5 or 6 plays, and you master them, and you get better at it than anybody, and you help your people get awesome at it, and you just won't believe what will come if this is your focus. Well, Dale, do I need to read the Vitamin Bible? No. It's okay if you want to this fall when you're raking your leaves, and if you're in an area that allows you to burn leaves in your community, you know what? You can throw the Vitamin Bible in with the leaves. It's not going to affect your success in any level, shape, or form. Now, I understand that I just offended all the people that are nutritionists. They love nutrition. They believe in nutrition. That's their passion. I understand. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just saying that it's not about selling products. If you want to maximize your time, energy, and effort in this business model, it's about developing teams. Now, who's going to provide the most value to the world? The nutritionist selling $5,000 worth of the best nutritional products in the world every month, or the nutritionist that has an organization of 10,000 people that are taking the product to the marketplace? Maybe I offended you further. I was not trying to. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Okay, just-in-time learning is a concept. Maybe you need to review. There's the webinar link. Okay, I really believe that the challenge learners have is they listen to too many voices. Now, and I understand why they do, because there's no real clear path. If you ask 99% of the people, what are the 6 steps you're going to take me to help me develop a 6-figure full-time income with your opportunity, 99% of the population in this profession would look at you like a deer staring into headlights. Like, what are you asking me? Just go talk to people. This is foreign, or anything like this is foreign. It's a foreign concept. I mean, just go find people that have been involved in network. What do you mean? You just go talk to networkers. We just recruit each other. That's what we do. Go call everybody you've ever known in every company you've ever been with. That's how you do this. Now, I'm exaggerating, but unfortunately not very much. Number 5, well-trained 27% is the most valuable member on every team. It really breaks my heart. It really does. The quality people that have come and got involved in this profession, this industry, never received direction of any kind. Just, and it wasn't that bad people enrolled them or there was bad people in their upline. That is not that in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the people above them didn't need the direction because of DNA. But the number of awesome people with huge upside potential that are just searching and searching and searching and asking and listening, and it's amazing to me. And really, 10 months ago, my number one question personally for me was, Dale, are there enough of those type of people out there in the network marketing profession? Are there enough 27%ers out there to even think about you spending the time that you're going to be spending if you move forward with network marketing support services? That was my biggest question. I called some of my close friends that I knew would tell me the truth and that have a pulse on what's going on. And because I wasn't for certain. Value 27%ers. Value them. Because most people are 70%ers and they jump in the program thinking it's the lottery. Because I have a cousin that got involved in Herbalife 20 years ago. She's living in a mansion. And if she can do it, I can do it. And they don't understand that it's not scratching a lottery ticket. It's a real business. It requires real education. They just look at it the wrong way, and that's the 15-minute of fame world that we live in. So what I want to communicate to you is, when you really identify people where the timing is right and they have reasons and they have drive and they're teachable, give them a path to go down. Give them that. Carrie said, Dale, your training on Lost Secrets of Network Marketing Success and Masses training helped me see my missing link. In my business, the last 7 years have been profitable for me. The next 7 will be profitable for my team. I love that. I will never miss your Thursday webinar podcast. A fan for life, Carrie. Hi, Carrie in Omaha. I saw earlier. Carrie, appreciate you being with us every week. That's what it's about, guys. There's Carries everywhere. Okay, they are. They're going to cosmetology school tonight to learn how to be a beautician, or they're going to learn how to be a dental hygienist, or they're in community colleges all over the world. They are. During the speculation stage, team building has been replaced with recruiting. And if you just look right here, since 1997, the mentality is you must be able to recruit Bill. That's the extent of the philosophy that is all over, spread throughout network marketing. You must be able to recruit Bill. The reality, the 30s through 1997, 97 is when the network marketing leadership, that's when the paradigm shift occurred. The paradigm shift in 97, some of you heard me talk about that. But the truth is, the truth the reality, without question. Unless you find 3%ers, Bill's a 3%er who can find another 3%er who can find another 3%er, and that can be done certainly that way. The problem is the masses that get led to the slaughter in the process. You must be able to teach Bill how to teach Mary, to teach Joe, to teach Kathy. That's it. Again, major detail on this, DaleCalvert.com/lost. Number 6. Every distributor, every person listening to me tonight, every distributor, every IBO, every team member, whatever you want to call those people, I like to think of team members, but every team member in every company can create customers with a button. Every one of you listen to me tonight. And yes, I know your upline says we don't do that. That's old school. We do everything online. I know that there's people, Dale, I'm too cool to wear that. That's right. I understand. Some people suffer from too coolitis. I get all that. Anthony Heflin used to say, if you have a problem wearing a button, that just tells me your check's not big enough yet. That's so true. I go through the training. I'm not going to redo it here. It's right here, MLMsuccess.com/story. I heard this from Stella last week. I've heard this dozens, like maybe 40 times in the last 10 months. And people are just so shocked. And Stella told me last week, she said, Dale, I had 5 people ask me about my button the first day I wore it, and I didn't have to say a thing. And what do they do, Dale, when they ask me about the button? Listen to the training. It's all right there. Here's what I want you guys to think about tonight. This was my response to Stella last week. I said, Stella, that's awesome. But now I want you to think about this. Imagine that you have a team of 500, 1,000, 2,000 people out there every day wearing a button. Now, anybody, any upline that doesn't get that, I would not listen to much that they would have to say. And I'm not throwing people under the bus, guys. I'm just trying to expand and understand. It's not about you tomorrow. It's about where are you going. And imagine if every single one of those people, every new customer that they got, they knew that's not a customer, that's a suspect. And I'm going to do 3-day, 14, 29-day follow-up, and I'm going to make them a prospect. And then I'm going to do a 59-day call and ask them how they'd like to get the product wholesale, and I'm going to make them a wholesale member where they can order directly from the company, or I'll back them into the business because I've already got referrals from them, and I'm going to offer to give them 2 of the customers that they originally gave me. Guys, I've explained, I've talked about that, and I'm not going to go through that part tonight. But I'm trying to expand your vision. I want you to see what can be accomplished. See, I don't share this stuff just because I like to hear myself talk. It's not about that. It works. It makes sense. It's logical. It's what will duplicate. And I'm not having to depend upon Pinterest or any other social media platform to get it done. And I never will. I never will. You never will. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of those. They're awesome. You should use them. But when you're developing a foundation that can be built upon like this and can move forward to depend upon a platform that is outside of your control is not a prudent business move. Your grandmother that's 92 that doesn't even have an email account, which again, I know that's not going to be the future, but she could wear a button and hand out brochures when they take their trip from the assisted care facility to Walmart. Anybody can do it. That's my point. Anybody. Absolutely anybody. Say, well, Dale, they aren't going to know what to say when somebody asks them about the button. Don't even wait for them to ask you about the button. Walk up to somebody, smile, say, hey, I noticed you were looking at my button. Here's a brochure. It'll tell you all about it. My website's on the back, and keep on walking. Number 7. This just, really, 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 really hit home to me. We did, I don't know, maybe, I don't even remember, maybe 5 months ago, we did a program. We did a 90-day run, like group type coaching program, and everybody that was on this, what I believe would tell you, like, my gracious, it was really confirming. Because we have a lot of people from a lot of different companies, and it's like we're all going through the same fears. We all have, there's fears to overcome, there's skill sets, there's mindsets to develop, and like experienced people were saying, I remember when I felt that way, and it was awesome. I learned a lot from this. It was kind of something that's like, I'm going to do it just to do it. And again, I appreciate all these people that participated in that. And this lady could have taught the whole thing, but Cindy could have. And I know Cindy's with us tonight. Her and John are here every week. Awesome people. Who else do we have? I don't think I got everybody's picture. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, I didn't get everybody's picture, but these were some of the people. Say, well, Dale, what was that 90-day? What's that? There's a website. Here's what I learned from this, and I want to share that with you guys. And I talked a little bit about this last couple of weeks. But those of you that have teams that are moving forward and growing, I can tell you that weekly accountability is critical when building a team. And some of you have heard me talk about progress reports. And I can't remember what webinar that was on. But we have it online for our Leadership Development Academy members, and some of you that were on the, framework, MLMhelp.com/framework webinar. We're putting that back there for you and your team. But accountability is critical in building a team. It's just critical. You can talk about goal setting till the cows come home, but if you don't monitor it and create accountability, it's not going to get done. And if it does get done, it can change people's lives. Just the process of doing that can make a tremendous difference for people. The other thing that I learned, that all fear stems from fear of rejection or fear of failure. I really believe that. All fear comes from fear of failure, fear of rejection. And then, I'm talking about business building fear. We're all born with fear of loud noises as well. But when it comes to building a business, it's fear of failure, fear of rejection. And a lot of times we excuse that away, or we mask it, and we think, well, I just don't know enough yet. It's not lack of knowledge. It's really not. Now, some people, it's amazing to me that there's no foundation for people to build upon. You know, I mean, that's kind of startling, extremely startling, really. And that's what we talked about in that framework. But I think even when there is a foundation, people will move forward if there's a clear system. Okay, if a clear system is not evident, it's hard for people to move forward. Dale, what is a clear system? The 5 things that I talked about earlier. Launch it, customer acquisition with referral, 2-step recruiting process where they can hear the whole story, distributor retention system. Of course, part of launch is knowing why, and then run as many leads through it as you possibly can on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. That's all there is, guys. That's it. That's it. And if good people, these 27%ers, very credible people, I really honestly believe they get involved, and at some point they think, you know, where's the foundation? Where's the process? And if the system is not evident, they start seeing the fog and the smoke and mirrors, and they start looking behind the curtain and see, my gosh, it's just a little wizard back there. But when the process and the system is very clear, it provides that, along with reasons, provide the path to put one foot in front of the other. And they understand, okay, I'm building a McDonald's. I'm going to learn how to do the front counter and take orders. Then I'm going to learn how to do the drive-through. And I got to remember when I'm in the front counter to always ask, would you like fries with that? Then they're going to show me how to make the fries, what temperature to set the oil on. And then when I'm done with that, they're going to show me how to make the burgers. They're going to show me how to put the tartar sauce and the cheese on the fish sandwich and how to make the nuggets. And then they're going to show me how to keep the whole restaurant on scheduled cleaning and how to keep it clean. And then they're going to show me how to do the bank deposits and how to work the safe. And then when they're done teaching me these 5 or 6 processes, they're going to be able to hand me the keys to the McDonald's. And not only can I run my McDonald's, but I can turn around and find a future manager and show them how to do the counter, show them how to do the drive-through, show them how to do the French fries, show them how to make the sandwiches, show them how to keep it clean, yeah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what? Then those people will be able to do it. That's the deal. This is a bonus tonight, and I'd like your guys' input. I really would. And again, this is not my belief, what I'm getting ready to share with you. It's a personal question. And you guys are the people that can give me some input. We have a lot of very logical thinking, motivated people on these webinars. The rub the magic lamp and let the genie pop out and give us 3 network marketing wishes, they don't last very long on these webinars. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. And here's my question. Is personal development and motivation sending the wrong message to network marketers? You say, well, Dale, of course not. And that would be my initial reaction. Like, I love this that I'm looking at. You know, fall 7 times, stand up 8. Man, I love that. That's so wisdom of the ages. It's Calvin Coolidge. You know, it's Zig Ziglar. The only difference between a big shot and a little shot is a big shot is a little shot that kept shooting. That's what it is, man. I mean, that's wisdom. It's Calvin Coolidge. Nothing is more important to success than persistence. I I agree with all that. I agree with all that. I don't remember if I put this here or not. So let me click forward and then I'll come. No, I didn't. Okay. Here's my thought, and I put this at MLMhelp.com this afternoon. If you go, you'll see an article about this, just a short article. And I really would appreciate y'all's input tonight. Here's a thought. Maybe we should ask why we keep falling. Maybe we should ask why we keep falling. I'm amazed that many leaders think, feel part of the process, part of the business model is you're going to have to rebuild. I think that is 100% false. Now, is it true? It's true. It's true. That's what's going on. But it's not necessary. Because if you have people that are moving forward and getting better and growing and understanding their own self-talk, and they're progressing and they're feeling good and they believe in the product, and you create that kind of culture of progression, a culture that's building people, a culture that's creating the right skill sets and the right mindsets. If you have that culture, follow me, and you're coming down the road and you're working and everybody's coming together and boom, boom, and everybody's progressing and everything's moving forward and you're moving and you're getting promoted, and more importantly, your team members are getting promoted. And then somebody in that structure gets to a point where it becomes about I and ego, which is normally what happens, and somebody offers them a position or a deal and their ego says, you're important, they're offering you this, so they go here. If and when that happens, it doesn't affect the culture at all. Yes, for 24, 48 hours, people will wonder what went on there or why, but it doesn't. It's like lint on their jacket. They just dust it off because they know they're moving forward, they're growing, they're learning, they're expanding their skill sets, they know that's what's happening to them personally. They know it because they feel it, they're experiencing it. So if so-and-so gets a case of the stupids because they think the grass is greener over there and they don't understand, you still got to have you still have to develop the same skill sets and mindsets. 100% of zero is zero. Yes, people perceived you to be a leader, but people know what was really going on, so it's no big deal. And it doesn't affect you because when that culture is developed, and see, I think we almost accept the fact, and again, I understand what they're saying here. I do, and I agree with it. But I believe that if you build it strong and build it on rock once you make that decision to do that, and you could be in the business 20 years like my friend in Norway, and then the leadership development paradigm shift happens, and okay, I'm adjusting here, I'm pivoting. It's a term that would be used in the traditional business world, and I'm building it on rock. And once you start building it on rock, I think the word damage control or rebuilding should never be used again, ever. And I think that should not be an accepted reality for any member of your team. Just a thought, guys, just a thought. I kind of got this in my head, and it hit me. I mean, I love this stuff, but it's like when I saw that, and I said, fall 7 times, stand up 8. Well, I understand, but maybe in network marketing, you should ask why you keep falling. Why are you always rebuilding? That might be a better question. Appreciate you being with me tonight, guys. Your social media, blog, comments, Amazon, when you leave feedback after you purchase stuff on training systems on Amazon or on our blog, your podcast feedback, it means a lot. It means a lot. It really does. Because it helps me find 27 percenters. Does that make sense? That's why it means a lot. If you have not checked out MLMSuccessWebinar.com, if you want to make sure, if this is your first ever webinar and you want to make sure you're notified about future webinars, that's the best place to register to make sure that gets done. I have a request tonight. If you go to MLMHelp.com, this is going to make it real easy for you. You'll see the article. It's at the top of the page. And again, I mean, I love this. And if you can say, I love that, that's cool. I love this picture. But if the article or what I've communicated, if that, and tell me, Dale, I think you're nuts. If you think I'm crazy, okay. I'm just trying to wrap my brain around it. It just helps me. You know, I think my goal, and guys, you know, I mean, if you see me speak live, I spit on the front row. My mind gets moving way faster than my tongue on these webinars. I got a Southern accent. I mean, I understand that I'm not typical, and I think you guys also understand, you know, none of that bothers me. I just don't even think about it. I can't. It's just not, I don't think about it. But all this input really helps me, like, I hope, communicate what I'm trying to communicate better. And every now and then I'll come up with something like, people need systems if you expect them to teach other people. Now, to me, that's pretty profound. Okay? Now, because of your input and listening, and I observe, I take all this stuff in, it really helps me, I feel like, help you guys. And like I say, my commitment, I mean, I really want to be able to look back in 5 years and see the impact that you listening to me tonight, you know, and I'm speaking obviously to the training club members and without question the Leadership Development Academy members. But I want to see the impact that you make. That's where I get the energy. So I appreciate you guys. Have an awesome night. Next week, probably, I'll go ahead and say that next week what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to send you access to one of our videos that we sell or something. I'm going to give you something next week on next Thursday because we leave I think Monday or Tuesday. We're going to be gone for about a week. I have an event in the Dominican Republic, and speaking in the Dominican Republic, and so we're going to go out a day or two early. We're staying a day or two after I think it's a 2-day or 3-day event. Again, I don't get caught up in the details. So next Thursday, my guess is, and again, I haven't really looked at this, but I'm probably not going to do a webinar next Thursday. And honestly, I'm real mixed about the summer because I love summer. I love riding around with the top down and being in the sun, and I'm going to be traveling back and forth and got a lot of things going on. But it may not be weekly, but I'm going to be in touch. But guys, you can go to MLMhelp.com. Wrap your mind around the 5-6 things we talked about. And if you never heard me speak one more time the rest of your life, you have everything that you need. I promise it's all there. So, that's kind of where I'm coming from as well. Thanks for being with me, guys. I'm going to log out of here tonight. I appreciate you. Let me stop this.